Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Islands of Insight. Islands of Insight is the right way to pronounce that. Let's see. We just finished this Chambers of Triunes. A lot of puzzles there. 102 puzzles in that enclosure. Enclave is what I think it's actually called. Man, I'm not pronouncing anything correct. The move is to go back this way. I could fast travel to the central hub, but it would just make more sense to maybe take a different path and look around, you know. So we're looking for anything and everything as far as puzzles go. Any amount would be helpful. And we have quite a few going on here as far as different angles in which we can look at things. And as we clear one, that will help us reveal the others. There is a bonus you could have unlocked for getting all of these lined up at the same time and doing a combo, but it's not something I'm gonna unlock anytime soon. I'm still not really sure why some of them seem to stay around. It definitely seems like that's a weird choice. Can I do this puzzle? Well, probably. First thing you can do is start that way. And do that. And then that and that. Like this entire bottom part here to this point has to be as is. It will just now be the next step. Now I do have a bonus now if I had done this puzzle perfectly, but you know, misclicking is just gonna happen. I question whether I ever would possibly get it perfect. Let's see. There's actually a lot of options here now. Actually quite a few options. I don't know what the next step would be. Suppose we could just play with it a bit and see. 2, 4, 6. Then I could just draw a straight line down to this point and do that. No, we have to connect all dark cells, don't we? Okay, so that is where our guidance is going to come from. It also means that everything here is going to line up in a center spot. That means that has to go that way. But then everything at this point can line up however it wants. Other than this has to connect here, I think. You may not have to. Well, no, it would. Same is true there. And that's 2, 4, making that 6. Then it has to come around to this way. Which that poses, guess, no problems? And then seems like he could probably just do that. Nope. So yeah, I solved it. Did not solve it perfectly. Don't really believe I am going to end up solving a lot of these things perfectly. Here we have what I think may be a fairly difficult one. This is a complete pattern. Okay. Might be able to do this perfectly. That seems fairly obvious what the move is. We will just take it slow. So I don't think I've clicked anywhere wrong. So when I click spacebar, let's make sure we see how much sparks we get. We get 30. So either that was not a puzzle that I could get a bonus from, or something else. Ooh, we've got quite a lot of these. Could we get 2 of these in a row? Should we do these puzzles? Is a good question. Well, I've got all the bonuses for these, as far as the Amelie rings already unlocked. So yes, the answer to the second question is yes, we should do all these. Can I get a bunch of them in a row? It's probably more ambitious than it needs to be. Temple of the Infinite Rings. Is this going to be a case where every single ring has to be shot from either above or below? You do this little finger gun animation. Shooting these, and then the arrow of your finger gun shot actually stays in the puzzle. Which is a cool idea, certainly. And it definitely feels like that is something that somebody was doing in the real world and decided that it would be cool in a video game, and that's always a cool idea when you can take the real world and apply it to the virtual world. There's definitely a lot of these that are going to need different angles. But these also, the rings don't disappear, so we're gonna probably have to work a little harder to know for certain whether we've solved a ring one or not. Some of them move. Maybe some of these rings are disappearing. Or maybe this is a case where you can just keep on doing this over and over again. I certainly did wonder on that aspect whether there would be a way in which you can just continuously play the game and get the resources. So it does bring about an interesting question, certainly, as far as why am I getting mirror blisses, or would this really just go on forever? I don't think it's really going on forever. I think that would be a lot. I think rings are disappearing, if I was to guess. And then new rings may be appearing. Replace the other ones, but I think it might very well be a very scripted experience, intentionally scripted experience. Just gotta get a tiny little pixel there. What would be irritating is if this turned out that this is moving rings from other locations. Although even if it was moving rings from other locations, that would just mean my experience would be different than other people's experience. Wouldn't inherently mean they are worse our experiences. Down here. I guess I'm perhaps losing a little interest. In doing that over and over again. There's a point certainly to be made here as far as grinding goes, though, that if you were just supposed to constantly solve all of these, it's going to be a slower experience. There would be, I guess, a way to get forward, but it may not be increasing my mastery much of any way other. Yeah, you may just hit a maximum mastery level, and then at that point the rings may not matter. It may not give you points anymore after you hit a full mastery level. I wonder also if maybe they've got a procedurally generated way to make these kinds of ring puzzles. See, that's one that I solved. I look away, it's still there. Solve that one. That one shrinks and disappears in a very different animation than the pop-out animation. You see other things disappear. I think I have to take it at its word and assume that this is the Temple of the Infinite Rings. The goal was to solve 8, the bonus was to solve 15. We did it. I changed my wing decoration. But to get back up to the higher areas, I guess you have to take this jump spot, which I would have preferred. A little bit more options. So I think the move here is you're just slowly try this again. Definitely seems like there's a lot of room to be distracted in this game. Lots of room to be distracted. Okay, we were going this direction, sort of. Nothing really stops you now from just gliding to the edge of this pyramid. I guess the question would then come down to, are we missing out on things by looking over here on the edge of the pyramid? We'll look around and imagine see all kinds of things. The gateway to the pyramid, I feel like is around this corner. I think this is a super difficult puzzle. So. Darn it, it went down. We've got some more sky drops. So these temples just go lower and lower. Clearly you're supposed to talk to this. Obley, you seem lost in thought. Who's Obley? Obley the First. It is all very glorious, I cannot deny. But these living canopies of green and the sand among the temples don't seem like they can't come from the same place. In the Garden of Memories, not everything must be how it should be, Obley. You of all beings know this. There is a grain of sense in that, I suppose. But who will water all the plants? Okay. So we get to these. Come on. I have to line up this line and these lines. Yes. Pretty well. So it does seem like you get to these areas where different spirits are speaking to each other. This is just way too many of these. Screams that you're going to need the bonus features. Figure out which of the spheres are supposed to line up with what other spheres. And the matchbox, I guess, has its own little hand animation too. So I guess it was their idea that every single puzzle solving action would line up with an intriguing hand motion. There's just way too many of them. Just no way to know who's needed and who isn't, or what size anything is needed. Not until it starts lining up, I guess. If it starts lighting up, then I can use that information. But we also know sometimes these form stars. This might also be a spot where a lot of the other further away spheres connect. So the pyramid has a big golden triangle on the bottom of it. Must equal the region. That's too far. Three. That's too many. Because it's touching the 10 at that point. So it kind of has to go down this way. And then that's 4. That's 6. That's 7. 8. 6, 7, 8, 9. Need one more black that's touching. Oh no. This needs one more white also. Just like that, I guess. We do know that these puzzles are counting down to something. You have to connect all the dark areas. Which tells me something here. You can actually just kind of chase this the correct direction. Yeah, I think that is pretty much it. It's got to curve around. It's got to block that. It's got to block that. That's got to block that. That's got to block that. So I suspect it's pretty much just doing that. Okay. Another puzzle solved. So a lot of these were locked before. Now I've got to get better at solving these perfectly if I want to get the bonus on them. Moving here would be wrong. Moving here would be wrong. Moving down here might work. What are we really trying to get accomplished here, though? Yeah, these puzzles don't have hints, but they do have resets and undos. There's actually fairly no other options. Do something like that, and that still doesn't work. Still doesn't work. How can I get this to line up? Maybe that's the move. No. Is that the move? No. Is that the move? No. Wow, this one is quite more difficult than what I was doing before. Missing a concept here. I need that to clear. Is there a way for this to clear without moving this down? If I could just get rid of that piece first. Well, I guess that kind of works. No, not quite. I'm not sure I can solve this. Let's say I just got rid of that. Then I need this to go up here. No. So we just got rid of that. have no idea what the right move here is. You know what? Let's just forget it. I'm spending too much time trying puzzles I'm not even actually focused on trying to do. And like this 4-star is kind of another great example of this, where I probably could do this, but you know, I just don't want to. I may have crossed a point here where I'm just not interested enough in doing any of this, and I want to just see the other areas. Yeah, here we have a whole bunch of puzzles that are connected. This one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one, this one, this one, and this one. So these might be fairly easy puzzles in it. Yeah. I think that's pretty easy to figure out. One second, I'm gonna drink some water, otherwise I'm gonna start coughing like crazy. So I don't know if these are specifically trials or what. Or whether these are just regions that help you recognize certain concepts and certain insights. There is something certainly to be said around the idea of insights. It's a cool concept, but you also aren't gonna just completely pull it off. Okay. So, to connect all the blacks, this has to be black, because this is your interconnection, which if we did this as black, then this would be black and that wouldn't work, so this is white and that's black. So next, to connect to this one, this must be black and that must be black, which means this has to be white and this has to be white. Doing that, doing that, doing that, and doing that. I don't think we have enough to upgrade anything else yet. We're only at 200. Goal solve the large logic grid for the connected wall. Let's just see what this would be. This would be more of that and more of that. I could do that, certainly. And that is just a area. Which is what this is all really going to boil down to, is that there are just going to be paths, aren't there? It is just one big interconnected area. When you're in this center section, there's no linear video game pathway to really concern yourself about. Which, yeah, that's definitely a different kind of feeling. Certainly. I definitely feel like I'm playing this wrong. In that I am not actually solving things. Let me look downward and see that box. Where was it? So, about 8 hours into the game, we have hit that point where it is starting to get a little annoying doing the same repetitive actions, and I think I am going to have to be careful to keep the variety high, otherwise I'm gonna burn myself out. Yeah, undoubtedly there's probably one higher. Didn't think it would be that low. Since we're here, now that we can glide, I'm trying to run, but I keep hitting the caps lock again. Let's go back to where we first started. This was that original tutorial area. And from this, we wanted to see this mystery. Just labeled as a mystery. Search and solve the environmental puzzles. 5. Solve the bonus search. The environmental puzzle. Okay. Search the environment. So I bet all of these say search the environment. Search the environment. So are we supposed to combine all of the puzzles together? No, because that wouldn't make sense with that center one. There's a whole nother area. We could fly over there. So when we search the environment over here, I don't think we're gonna find anything. Search the environment. Okay. So looking down, I see leaves with one pointing up and the 3 down, 1 up, 1 down, 1 up. So, and then it has 2 dark ones. Okay, so which in the center, if these are the 2 dark ones, then this would be dark, 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 light, 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 light. All right. Got it. So the leaf patterns here tell us something. And it keeps your progress. But the problem here will be the angle. In that any of these could be the right angle. And if that is the case, then everything changes. Maybe the escape button isn't the best button to have to leave those puzzles. Okay. And in this case, I think it is doing us a favor by not having us it's not counting these as wrong. Okay, I'm assuming I've done everything correct at that point. Moving the mouse all over the place too. Okay. That took more attempts than I would like. Okay, if we were facing the opposite direction that way with that one, and we were facing that way with that one, and we were facing that way with that one, then let's, by a process of elimination, assume that this is right. And then we've got some 3-leaf clovers and 4-leaf clovers. So 3 leaves should then be white. So white, 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 Or black, black, black is probably easier to remember. Wait a minute. If the center one is a 3-leaf clover, then it has to be from this angle, because 3-leaf and 4-leaf are the only ones that work. Which means black is 3-leaf clovers, white is 4-leaf clovers, so white, 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 white. Seriously, what did I mess up? Black should be a white here, a white here, and a white here. Okay. And so this is just going to be a nightmare because I'm going to now have to take the information I've learned in all these, that black is the 3-leaf clovers, and then hopefully figure out the right order. White is on the far right. Okay. And it's plus sign, which means it's here. So we've got to look. Black is a 3-leaf clover, so it's not this angle. We've eliminated that one. In this one, white is which? White is the lily pads. Okay. The unsunken lily pads. Which means nothing, because I need to look in the corners first. White is what? Here. White is the light leaves. Which doesn't help me either. Just gotta figure out the right starting spot here. And white is up on the leaves, is that correct? Yeah. So this is the pattern. Which means that's that and that's that. And that's as good as we can get. That will set us to the next stop, where he said white was the light leaves. That's correct. Guess that's all we can do there. And then black is the 3-leaf clover. That should be white. And that should be black. And that should be black. is the non-sunken lily pads. Okay. So that, and that, that, and that, I believe. And then if this is that, that should be that. So that's really taking it to the next level of environmental puzzles, having leaves and fountains. But at a certain point I kind of don't feel like you could take the whole world, even though this is quite a world to behold. I don't think you can take it to such an extreme level. So I'm assuming this is your bonus puzzle. Okay. Which, suppose we could say this is light, then dark, then dark, and then then light, then dark, then light, then dark, light and dark. Let's see if that works. If we've got that right. I think we do. I'm just looking at the shadows. Then you take just a couple steps and you get a mirror bliss. It's weird, I thought it was you got the mirror bliss after you took your hand off the controller, but kind of seems like it's just you take 2 steps. Okay, well, let's fly to this area. This is probably an area you're not supposed to enter yet. A click in time, the phase and the melody. Have not yet awakened the entrance to this, yet you find yourself here. I really would like to see some speedrun strats. Oh, this is going to be really difficult. Yeah, I'm immediately going to give up on this one. This is a nightmare difficulty area. But yeah, I would kind of love to see some speedrun strats. Now, could I just fly to that area over there? Seems like I could. And that was my thought as far as how far in this game before we run into some kind of gated element that would absolutely forbid us from going any further. I question if there really is a gated element that would prevent us from going any further. It may simply be a case that once you have the wings, you're free to go wherever you want. But that's like a 4-star difficulty puzzle. Increasingly, these skydrop puzzles also seem to, well, long distance solving. They seem to not really require you to look at all the spheres. Some of the visions are obviously obscured. Yeah. I don't know how I'm supposed to solve this. Does that work? Now, how would I hit these up here? There's just no way. Okay. Now how do I destroy this one? That has to be the first move. Absolutely. That can't happen. That can't happen. That gets rid of that. That can't happen. That can't happen. It's gotta happen that way. I'm totally in the wrong place. Probably would benefit me to simply teleport. It is weird that you can't look straight up and over. Like, it's actually stopping your head from going any further, whereas if this was a first-person game only, most games would not bother to do that. I'm tired of doing those. Okay. We will fast travel for the first time here. I must have picked the absolute worst possible quest. I definitely would have gotten this quest done earlier. So, in retrospect of that, I think we Probably should say cancel that and then accept this one instead, which I have an actual chance of solving. There just aren't that many of those run puzzles. We gotta chase one, but that's not what that quest was all about. Come on, where'd you go? These guys, they love where are they? You'll have to get out of your field of view. Go around corners. Run you around in circles. End up placing you far from where you started. And sometimes placing you right next to where you started. I see that there's another puzzle there. I'm just not going to get very far in this enclave now. Glass temple. I should have been here an hour ago. The idea of this being a giant jigsaw puzzle, in the sense that each puzzle is a piece of a puzzle, didn't make sense to me. That you would, there's a lot of things made out of glass here that are kind of invisible. Kind of invisible, not really. Not sure if there's a special solution or anything that has to be done here, or if this isn't just a case where they have done something kind of surreal. What are our extra quests? Solve all four hidden pentads. We don't know what a pentad is. Okay. Sounds to me like the world is maybe shifting a little bit. Nope, that's just an arc. Without awareness, the known is just a void. Minds are the only thing that feel the meaning within memories. More. Dialogue. I want to call it, frankly, just nonsense. Okay. So this is not inherently trying to be too difficult. Complete the pattern. Okay. I don't think that's right. I think the pattern is this. But how would I have known that? Because it could also just be fully black in the center. That doesn't line up. I'm trying my best here and missing something. I'm not getting the pattern quite right. Here. That seems more correct. That seems more correct. But the pattern doesn't match. I don't know what's supposed to be in the center here. Okay. I'm assuming reflection here. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the pattern to follow is more of a continuation from this direction in that end, and then yep, it was just a continuation of it shooting in that direction. Now, I cannot imagine that this puzzle, these glass puzzles are going to be that hard. At best, what I think is going to happen is we're going to end up... See, once again, this is weird. The paint bucket bonus ability, which, yeah, can't upgrade anything. We're still only at like 500. Like if we got this grid floor paint option, it'd be nice, but it's not going to give us any kind of reward for that, because solving these puzzles in a more timely manner doesn't give us any bonus. That's probably a nice thing, because if the puzzles were timed and you got more of a reward for doing them fast, then you would feel this loss when all of a sudden you struggle on some puzzles and you don't finish them in a timely manner. And then that loss may lead to a desire to try and redo the puzzle in a faster manner, and you can't really redo these puzzles. So these are just full-on encased in glass sections. Okay. I think this one was easier to figure out. So we're looking for 4 hidden pintads. Not 100% sure what a hidden pintad is. Jump down here and see if we can. Hidden archways, or part of it. So let me ask this question: how many extra puzzles do we think are in this? The glass walls blocking the interaction with the collectibles, making it more of a challenge. Looks like we're going down. Yeah, I gotta say I really like this approach, because this opens up a possibility that I don't think we're really gonna get to follow so much, as far as a bunch of these glass puzzle areas also being a way to narrow down the different directions a player might be able to go. But yeah, I also just don't expect to see a lot of that. Okay. This pattern's a little bit tougher. Let's look at the whites and the blacks and make sure we kind of understand what I think is going on here. See, it's this part that kind of confuses me. Let's see. How would this play out? I'm thinking it plays out that way. And then I think it plays out that way. And then I'm thinking it would probably play out that way. And then that way. I guess I could use a foresight. This looks right. This looks right. This looks right. Is that any different? Is that any different? Is that any different? Interesting. I'm confused. Guess maybe that make any sense? I'm very confused. I feel like I'm following the pattern. Felt like I followed the pattern kind of to a T. And I'm out of foresights now, so okay. So I had the general idea, I just had the placement wrong, I guess. Still not sure how many things are here, as far as there could be secret blocks, but I wouldn't be surprised if in this area there actually aren't any secret blocks, and what they're doing instead is having only secret arcs. It would be fairly kind to not have any secret blocks in this area, because a secret block in this area in particular would be very difficult to see amongst all the other glass structures. Another question I'd want to ask is there possibly something up over there? Let's not deal with it yet. One lesson I think I can learn from the previous enclave we did is to not waste my time on areas until I have the countdown. And then after I have solved it and it tells me that there's only 5 puzzles left, or 20 puzzles left, or whatever the number is, that's the time to start looking for all the extras. I still want to be somewhat thorough. Ooh, this can be a tough one. I don't know how tough it really is going to be, though. Looks to me like I can just do what I see and follow that pattern. Alright. I bet I can just kind of fill in everything like that. Yeah. Didn't really even have to understand that puzzle. Just monkey see, monkey do. Definitely does feel like they've figured out that each of these areas works best if there's 2 puzzles to bounce back and forth from. It's not quite the same feeling as having falling action and raising action, but it is something, certainly. I say it's not falling action and raising action because I don't know which one would be considered the falling action and the raising action. I suppose if I was forced to pick, I would say walking around the glass puzzles are probably the falling action, since that is a more passive activity than solving the pattern puzzles. Although we've got a little platforming here we have to do now. Interesting. The arc there on its side. We haven't seen that one before. Okay, there's a decent amount of stuff going on here. Still. So we're trying to find 7 more hidden archways. And what else? 8 more crystal labyrinths? That seems like a lot. Definitely seems like a lot. They feel like there'd have to be fairly short crystal labyrinths. There's a British show that was an old show, and then they had a season or 2 of it coming back called The Crystal Maze, which is not a maze, and you earn crystals for a big crystal cash grab at the end. That has nothing really to do with this game other than the fact that unfortunately you wouldn't be able to call these crystal mazes without creating some small amount of confusion. Okay. I'm going to guess that this is the pattern. No. Well, if this one is that, and then, well, that's a, I mean, it could be that too. What are we missing? If this one was a full reflection, then those would be there. And then that would be there. Okay, and if this one was a full reflection, then that would be there. That doesn't seem like any of that is right. So, is it possibly these are locked in? Okay. So the corner piece is black. That tells me something. Is it supposed to be as something as much as that? That doesn't seem right. This is black. Okay. Does that mean the pattern is supposed to match this. Something like that. Perhaps. This is black. Okay. Does that mean the pattern is supposed to be something like that? Yes, it is. That definitely is more brute force. So 1, then square it to a 2 by 2, then square it again by 3 by 3 by 4 by 4. Makes that pattern. But then 1 multiply it by 3 to get to that and that. And then this multiply it by 2 to get that and that. That kind of felt more like a you had to be there style puzzle, not one that fully would make logical sense to everybody. So I think it probably does make sense to just temporarily move forward. And yeah, you would have wings there. My name was not her greatest gift to me. She gave me a vessel to walk upon this world, for I was eager to escape the void. At least I could feel the cool touch of the ground and the warmth of the sunlight. Such a gift must be shared. Well, if this person had a vessel, is this the vessel, or did they lose the vessel at some point? It definitely feels to me like what let's see. Like this could get really difficult. Although it may not, because pattern recognition may just be way easier than the way the stars difficulty system implies. So I guess the idea is he would have flown over there and jumped on that. When you don't have hidden blocks, a lot of these corner sections start to feel pointless. Not completely pointless though. We are leveling up fairly quickly. Need still another 250 or so sparks. This might be slightly more challenging puzzle. So yeah, I wonder how we're supposed to do this one. It's that. Something like that. Which is more important, to always have a white plus or a black plus? Because it doesn't seem like you can have both. Always. That looks more accurate. Yeah, you're just getting right into this corner. So what am I missing on the patterns? Probably started in the wrong spot. Probably. Should have something closer to that. Yep. Color me confused as far as everything here seems to indicate that we should be doing this exactly right. That seems like that's the right move. It wasn't, obviously. But can I just fall down here? Yes. Am I supposed to fall down there? I think maybe. There's also a whole puzzle down here with you. This game overall is getting exhausting, but also I have to admit that there probably is only so much more one should take of these repetitive puzzles. Yes, they're simple. Where am I? I'm right on it. That is, and so here you can see all the statues are upside down. Yeah, I'd say that's the one saving grace of this. Is that there are there's another one down there. Let's fly through it. Darn it. Just gonna fall. See what resets me up to. Oh, right to where I want to be. But there is more to it too. I want to reach that spot. Is something to this. So I want to be shot up here. Oh, what a sneaky little puzzle. That was the exit. Sneaky, sneaky. That was apparently another exit. So I don't know if there was a shortcut that I just created, or if there's two puzzles here that have to be solved. Interesting that there's glass there. And I know we're going long today. Yep. I'd say I appreciate the... Seriously? How am I supposed to click on that? Is this a case where each of these are encased in glass, and it's not until you have broken the glass that you can click on them? I think that's exactly what's going on. Of course, being in the sphere, well, having to solve multiple other puzzles. That's something. You can't turn these off. I would say they probably stay activated. I guess as they stay activated forever. Most games you would assume that they would shut off after some amount of time of being outside the dome. Yeah, I don't think that's the case here. Okay. Maybe there's a different kind of trick here. Yeah, it is a different kind of trick. It is very much that there are holes on the sides of these. They're just different angles. Okay. So where's the last one? It's that one. I guess. Move is to go high. Maybe I should be in third person perspective for this. Nah, I don't want to. This is getting fairly fiddly though. So we've solved 8 of the 12 mazes, and now I see how we would solve the rest of them. But you know what? I think this is as good as it's gonna get as far as a place to end this episode. I'm still slightly away from 1,000 to get a bonus 50% sparks for getting perfect matches on match 3. Pattern grids, if I do them perfectly, would give me 50% sparks. But we also saw that infinite ring area, so we now kind of know, unless those actually aren't infinite rings, that we could always just go in that area and do that forever to unlock more things. We also solved the mystery, which just leaves us the glass temple, which is what we're doing, and the dare of trirunes. And then overall, as far as Verdant Glen, there's 2 more movement puzzles, 8 more perspective puzzles, 13 more hidden objects, and then 2 more environmental puzzles, 10 action puzzles, and 12 puzzle boxes and lore fragments. We are collecting quite a bit. That being said, unless the Lucent Waters and every other level is just a little bit smaller and a little bit easier, I think the 10,000 puzzles here have a chance of defeating me. Yep. Yes, we're getting mastery and lore franks. We should have enough sparks. Yeah, I wonder if intermediate as far as logic grid and intermediate as far as match 3 are the maximum we can get to. Or it may just be a case that it takes just twice as much solving of puzzles to get up from intermediate to the next level. Yeah, there's still 7 different puzzle types that we have not even seen in the game, and I think they are probably making a mistake by not throwing a couple more of those my way to just keep it interesting. So now the next move is, well, we're at level 13. First of all, we need to recognize that. So going this direction for level 27 doesn't make a lot of sense. Going this way would cost 1,500 plus, no, it costs 2,000 to increase glide speed and enable diving. What would cost 600 to go this way. 5% chance, making it easier to see sky drops. Crystal Labyrinth speed bonus, so 1600 to get to this point, which maybe that would have been the wiser thing, is to not have spent these points and then gone this way and then get more bonus for Crystal Labyrinth and sightseeing. And we are at level 13, so I haven't seen any phasic dial puzzles at all, or music grid challenges at all. So there is an argument to going that way. Also, there is an argument to going with extra foresights. Hold left control in grids to highlight their region. Might be useful too. We haven't seen any shifting mosaics. Here's the skydrop combo. Memory challenges. Might also be challenging puzzles. Yeah. We've been chasing after what we've already seen. It would make a lot of sense to go here, here, and then here, and have a bit additional rewards on puzzles we haven't even seen it a little bit of. Where are we as far as, let's see, this was the mystery and where we started. We are here. Still haven't done the all-seeing monolith, and really haven't touched upon this back half section. So, a connected wall, we did walk past this, and so we know these are quests. Okay, so we know what a quest is now. It's just a area of fairly difficult puzzles. And then this Vertical quest for perfection. We may not have seen what that was. I would suspect we haven't. The map does scroll in close enough that we could see everything. This is interesting. The Haven of Insight, the Center of Minds. Apparently this is something we may have seen in a cutscene. Because I definitely don't think we flew there. So the Temple of Infinite Rings is also a quest. Which tells me not every trial, which they're labeled as trials here, they're labeled as quests in the text. Not every one of them, though, is going to end up giving us infinite XP opportunity. And when you click on these, nothing happens, when it really would make a lot of sense for clicking on the mastery to unlock either a hint or take you to the insights, which I don't think in the past 2 hours we've unlocked any new insights. We have unlocked some more lore, and I question certainly if this lore is in any way really linear. There was a question I thought of and I wanted to ask this out loud. does it really make sense to have RPG elements in a sense of mastery in a game like this, or even on a bigger scale RPG elements in the sense that you can customize your character? Are puzzle solvers the same kind of nerds, to use a jokey term, as RPG Dungeons and Dragons style players? That would be my question, certainly. No, I think my answer is no, they aren't. I just don't think. Yeah. I just don't think that. Why did I just unlock a new lore? Maybe the game was just not ready to pop up that. Oh, I just unlocked this lore because I received it by clicking on the rewards here. Okay. Yeah. I don't think puzzle solvers, people who want to play puzzle games, have ever been offered custom character creation, and as such they've never really developed a desire for it. So yeah, while Islands of Insight is delivering on what it promises in 10,000 plus puzzles, it is also over delivering in general as far as how many puzzles are here, and arguably maybe it's wasting the player's time a little bit by having you walk in 3D environments. Even in a 3D environmental puzzle, there's a lot of area in between each puzzle, which is odd for a puzzle game. Of course, this isn't anything too different from the Talos Principle, other than the fact that the Talos Principle had very well tested, polished, larger laser puzzles, and they were only laser puzzles, and there only were probably 200 at most, maybe closer to 60, and maybe even less than 50 puzzles in the entire Talos Principle. And then yes, there were some Tetris puzzles also, but there weren't more than 50 of those either. So 100 puzzles, 200 puzzles, that's much more reasonable than 10,000 plus puzzles. Well, that's going to be it for this recording. Obviously, I need to take a little bit of a break from this game. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and keep on watching. Thanks.